What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor & Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor & Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor & Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, May the 14th. Gary Wunder is with us, National Federation of the Blind. Good to have you here, Gary.
Great to be here.
We've touched on many different topics with you on this program. Today, we're going to deal with something that I think most people have not thought about. Two blind parents taking care of a newborn child. Now, both you and your wife are blind, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
You had children.
4.
And you took care of your children as blind parents.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Well, I think the first thing you do is you figure out how you're going to do without sight what other people do with sight. You start by doing the things that everybody does. You baby-proof your house, for example. You don't leave your dishwasher pods down under the sink like you used to because now you've got a little one. You put protectors on the plugs so that the child can't put their fingers in them. You learn, for instance, to buy an audio thermometer so you can take the child's temperature. You learn that when you feed the child, if you touch their mouth, they'll turn toward you, so you know where to bring the spoon, of course. You know, you're not just searching for the mouth when you do the feeding. People always like to say, you know, how do you know when they're wet or dirty? And we say you follow your nose.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's pretty simple, you know.
But was there any resistance from nurses and doctors sending a child home with two blind parents?
Some questions, you know, can you really handle this? Or there would be amazement about, in the hospital, I'm glad that I was able to see you do this or that. But we do have cases in the National Federation of Blind we're asked to defend where people have their child taken away because a nurse will see that the child is going home with two blind parents, and they'll refer to a social worker, and the social worker will come and they'll ask very interesting questions. You know, how will you know when the child is hungry? Well, that's a time schedule. That's a listening for crying. Again, can you change a diaper? Yeah, I can change a diaper.
You have to prove to them that you can change a diaper.
Exactly, usually so. But and all of that is kind of okay, kind of reasonable that you would ask those questions because we all are interested in the safety of children. What gets to be unreasonable is that the question that makes all the difference in the world is, will you have somebody with you 24/7 who is sighted? And if the answer is no, sometimes children are taken away from blind parents. And in one case that we had in 2010, we had to fight for 57 days to get the child back with her parents.
Did the child then eventually came back?
She did. She did.
But
$10,000 later.
$10,000 in legal fees later.
Exactly.
How did you win that case?
We won it by bringing a lot of blind people who could show these techniques to social workers and to a judge in a court. You know, it's amazing. See, we presume that people already know these things, so we don't actually go out and trumpet, hey, we're blind parents. It isn't until we run into difficulty that we say, maybe not everybody knows. And shame on us, you know, for not thinking about it. It's a matter of common sense to us how we're going to do things.
So there is no doubt in your mind that two blind parents can take care of a newborn child?
Absolutely. Now, there are a lot of other factors that go into being a human being, you know. So am I going to say that in every case where a child is taken, the fact that blindness is there means that it was a blindness issue? No, maybe not. Maybe there are other things that happen into it, you know. extreme mental illness may play a problem. I mean, there are lots of things. I don't want to say that being blind is the primary characteristic. I only want to say that being blind should not be the characteristic that determines whether or not you're going to be
keep
paired.
a child.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you read to a child? You're blind.
Here, let me give you one of these books, and maybe you can describe the book to people.
Okay. The book is That's Not My Monkey. And it says touchy-feely books.
Exactly.
So you open it up, and there's the outline of the monkey's tail.
And then there's Braille.
Oh, and there's Braille.
Yeah.
So you're able to read the Braille while you are reading the story to your child.
Absolutely. And then we ask the question, and then you flip the flap. That's a great thing on the radio, flip the flap, right? And you see actually the picture.
Yes.
And
it's all in, the picture is there, but here, let me hold this up. The picture is there, but the words are written and also in Braille. So you're reading to the kids.
That's right.
Reading Braille.
We're giving them reading basics. And, of course, not only do we have these books where you have print and Braille, but we also have just regular Braille books. So maybe I'm going to start reading small chapter books to my child at some point. And they may have some pictures in them or they may not. But it's important that the child learn a love of reading, and they have to do that through imitation. And if we can't read to them, they can't imitate. Exactly.
How, as far as when the child is first learning to walk, how do you deal with that?
You watch them as they crawl. That is, you crawl along with them on the floor. You help stand them up. You hold them by the hands, and they kind of toddle back and forth. And then they let go of your hands, and you have your arms kind of around them, but not where you're really touching them, just so that if they fall, they'll fall within the framework of your hands, and you watch them and you start cheering, you know.
And you did all of this.
Well,
you did all of this with four children that you raised.
Yeah.
You and your wife.
Yeah. My wife did most of it.
Yeah. And now you're raising grandchildren too.
Oh, exactly. My wife now babysits for our granddaughter, and it lets our daughter work without the burdensome cost of childcare, and it lets us have influence in a way that we just wouldn't normally.
Yes. Yes. Gary, I appreciate you sharing this information with us. It really was enlightening, to say the least. And if people want more information about this, they can contact the National Federation of the Blind, correct?
They certainly can.
And how do they do that?
They can go to our website, which is nfb.org. Or they can call us at 874-1774.
You got it. 874-1774. The one thing I have learned from you over the series of programs that we've had with you, Gary, is the fact that you can do anything that you put your mind to it.
Thank God humans are that diverse.
Yes, you can do anything that you put your mind to it, and lack of sight has not stopped you one bit.
Nope.
All right. Gary Wunder, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure to have you here. We're out of time. Tomorrow, League of Women Voters and Pet Health. Bye-bye.